Hi, I'm Josh, and today we have a camera that's creating a lot of buzz, and for a very good reason. This thing doesn't require Wi-Fi, it doesn't require power, no power over Ethernet, really no connections at all are really required. And this is the Reolink Go PT Ultra. And this thing, we're gonna really put it through the tests here today and see how it works. If you have a cabin, a construction site, a remote location, maybe a beach house that you don't have internet to all the time, or maybe just a shed way out in the back of your property or barn that you can't get to with normal, LAN or Wi-Fi or power, then this off-the-grid solution might just be exactly what you need. Welcome back to Josh's Smart Home. And if you're new here, I've been building out my smart home for about 10 years now, and I want to share with you what I've learned along the way. So let's get to it. We're going to start by unboxing the Reolink Go PT Ultra. So let's get it unboxed. All right, when you open it up, the first thing you see here is a SIM card, and then you have, it feels like materials inside of here. So you have like the user guide and 4G cameras, as well as the sticker. So let's see what else we got. In the next level here, we just have one simple item on top of the foam, and that's an antenna here. And at this point, we have the camera as well as the mount, and then some other hardware that goes with that. We have, looks like a charging cord here, and more mount material and different options here with the strap, or you could mount it directly to a hard surface as well. And last but not least, the most important piece in here, and that's the camera. And this thing feels really solid, looks really nice, nice and sleek, a nice gray color here on this one, and this wonderful sound. Just in case anybody likes that one there. The brand new camera sound, and looks like we have a power port as well as a USB port on the back here, and the antenna, and then it looks like the mount screw on the top here, the screw hole on the top. So got this thing unboxed. I'm going to go over the features next with you. Now let's talk about the features that really make the Reolink Go PT Ultra really stand out. And we're going to start with the 4K 8 megapixel Ultra HD that it has. And this resolution is just absolutely amazing on a camera that's going to be off the grid. So it's not grainy like, those bank cameras that I've talked about in another video. It's a really true HD camera and a 4K camera that you can, have very high quality video coming from. Next, we have the fact that it's a 3G, 4G LTE cellular connection. So you have the speeds necessary to, really provide you that clear camera image at your remote location. This camera has pan and tilt functionality that you can control remotely, 355 degrees horizontal and 140 degrees vertical up and down with this camera remotely, which is absolutely awesome. It allows you to go right to what you're trying to look at as it's swiveling around and up and down, and you can really focus on the proper item that you want to see. You pair it with the solar panel, so you essentially have endless supply to the power because it doesn't take much. I think they say 10 or 15 minutes of direct sunlight can power this all day long, 24 hours a day. So that's not really much. You just have to have, one good spot for your solar panel. And this is a pretty flexible setup and pretty easy to do because I've used the solar panel in a couple other installations as well. And this thing has AI built into it. People, vehicle, and pet detection directly on the camera. That's amazing when we're talking about the remote camera and placing it, maybe out at, at a cabin, and maybe you're looking for your deer or whatever you'd like to see there. You can, keep an eye on it and be alerted only when it's those proper notifications. This camera features color night vision as well as two-way audio. And you can either have the local storage on the camera or subscribe to the cloud storage option that Reolink provides. So very flexible and very convenient for whatever your needs are. Okay, those are the specs on paper, but how does this camera really perform, and that's what we're gonna get to now. So I came out to a public park where there's no Wi-Fi or anything around. That way I could really test how this cellular camera works and what it looks like and how it interacts, out in the wild. So I did a lot of tests with, looking at different things, checking to see whether or not it could pick up the animals and people, checking the quality of the video streams. So I'll let you see a few of those as we move through the video. And I flipped the camera around just to give you a perspective of how open this is. We're really out in the middle of a field and just a couple trees around and that type of thing. We don't have any Wi-Fi or any other connections out here, but it works really great with the cellular connection. And I did have 4G the whole time I was testing out here, even though there's nothing to be seen around us, just trees and grass and a few houses off in the distance, but really nothing else here. As you can see, the 4K resolution is genuinely impressive. You can clearly make out who the people are, which is crucial for security. The pan and tilt work great through the Reolink app, allowing you to sweep through large areas. And smart detection, it's remarkably accurate. I've had a couple instances where it took a second or so to pick me up, but once it does, it is really, really good. Really impressive from this camera. Setup with this camera is incredibly straightforward. You download the app, scan a QR code, put in the SIM card, and you're basically ready to go right away. You can use the provided SIM card that's in the package, or you can provide your own. There's a list on the website that tells you exactly what's usable in this camera, but I believe it's AT&T and T-Mobile and some others. So just check the website to see what's compatible in the area you live in that you might want to select for this camera. The Reolink app itself is intuitive and well designed. You can select to watch, live views or recorded video. You can change the settings on the camera and even, check out several of your Reolink cameras all at once right in the app. Super simple. Now, let's talk about the solar panel. This is where you get that truly off the grid setup for your Reolink Go PT Ultra. And just pairing it simply with the solar panel and plugging the solar panel into it, making sure that there's an adequate amount of light to this, you can power this thing indefinitely. And I already do this with another camera that I have set up on my property, the same solar panel, and that has 2 cameras on it. And we utilize that, and we have the deer that go into that area, no issues at all. And the solar panel really is a neat addition to the cameras when they're in remote locations. Of course, no product is perfect, so let's talk about a few considerations before you spend your hard-earned money to buy the Reolink Go PT Ultra. And the first one is the data plan. You need to figure out exactly, how often you expect this thing to get triggered, how much data this may require. But just one thing to keep in mind, Reolink does provide a low data mode, so you can conserve it in situations where you don't want to spend as much on a monthly basis for that data plan. Next item for consideration is the latency, because any camera on a cellular network can have some latency to it. So it's not going to be quite as quick as if you had a power over Ethernet camera or even a Wi-Fi camera. A lot of times you'll get notifications and everything much quicker from those. But latency hasn't been too bad for my testing. There's a slight delay, but it's something that I could certainly deal with, especially when you're talking about a remote location. Typically, it's not a situation where it matters if it's delayed a second or two when it gets to you. It's a pretty quick process and nothing that I'd be too concerned about. And the last thing I want to point out is the solar panel. Depending on where you put it, you may or may not get a lot of sunlight. So if you're at a cabin and you're trying to put it in the middle of the woods, there may be a bunch of trees blocking the solar, the sunlight coming in. So the solar panel might not give you too much power. So you're going to have to think about where you're going to install it and make sure that you have an area that's good for the solar panel, or that you can charge the camera as needed, because you can, charge it directly with a USB-C cable, and it's not that big of a deal. I believe you could even take a power pack along and plug it into it and charge it that way if you needed to in a remote location. But the solar panel is the ideal way to set it up, in my opinion. So I'd be looking at a situation to see, can you use the solar panel, and make that part of your consideration on the purchase. So who is the Reolink Go PT Ultra for? Well, if you need reliable, high quality surveillance of rural properties with no Wi-Fi, remote cabins or vacation homes, construction sites, farms or ranches, boat docks or marinas, or temporary surveillance needs, such as event monitoring, then this camera is a strong contender for your high quality, off the grid surveillance needs. In conclusion, the Reolink Go PT Ultra is a powerhouse. This thing really provides on the 4K surveillance monitoring with pan and tilt capabilities. It's really an impressive setup that you got to see for yourself, and you need to consider it if you're looking for an off-the-grid solution. I'll put the links in the description below for your convenience, and if you like this video, please make sure you like and subscribe to the channel as well. It really helps me out and I appreciate it. Let me know in the comments below if you have a different use case for this, or if you own one or you'd consider buying one in the future. I love hearing from all of you so that we can keep that conversation going and I can make sure I tailor my information to you to make your home smarter. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.